Welcome back to another episode, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. We're the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox community. It is podcast number 352, believe it or not.
It's a lot of episodes.
Yes, it's a lot of episodes, dude. It's back. It's fun. This is my time to let loose every week. I don't know how you guys feel. And in honor of letting loose, I'm sitting here with no pants on. You guys just can't see it. As always, I'm joined by the Bros, the XoneBros. First is Mr. McSpicy.
Hello, how's it going?
Next is Jordan the Man.
Hello.
Last but not least, I am X1. Thank you very much for being here, everybody. Our Gamer Club game of the month is Dirt 5. If you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's fun. Go check it out. It is on Game Pass. We also do stream live on this channel Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Fridays is the show. So come join us, youtube.com/X1Bros. Jordan streams Monday and Wednesday nights. This last Monday, we actually had our Couchcast special where we all got together and played Rogue Company. Mr. McSpicy, give us a recap. Give us a 1,000-foot recap of the Rogue Company.
1,000 foot?
1,000 foot.
We won.
We did. We actually did. We win
people.
Every single one.
We didn't lose a match. It was actually fantastic. So I felt really good about it. This is your first time playing it,
That was my very first time playing Rogue Company.
How'd you like it?
I really enjoyed it a lot. I'd like to get. It's super fun. I mean, that's the only way to describe it. I think I prefer it because I would jump into Overwatch with you guys. I definitely prefer it over Overwatch.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. I didn't mean to do that. You had to point out that when I did that.
Hey, I saw what you did.
I'm so good with words. I don't even realize what I do.
Yeah. I mean, they're different games.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I prefer this style. I think better.
Okay, sure.
To the 5, the upgrading in between matches. The first to whatever it is. First to 8?
Which, by the way, they changed that. So now they just came out with a recent patch where it's now first to 9. It was first to 7 for Demolition, and now it's first to 9.
Yeah, they upped that. They made a bunch of balance changes and added a new map and hero. So quite a big patch, actually.
Big old patch.
Yeah.
So
Oliver Queen is the new hero,
basically. Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
Pretty much, yeah.
So
the guy with the bow and arrow.
Yeah, with AirPods.
With AirPods?
Yeah.
Let's see. Who was I? I was the big guy with the defense.
Anvil.
With the...
I call him Mr.
With
Thick.
the shield.
Mr. Thick.
I don't know all their names, so he's Mr. Thick.
He was fun to play. And then who was the girl that I played? Because she's my new crush. Wowzers. My new video
Ronin.
game crush. Ronin.
Oh, yeah, she's got
Wowzers.
those yoga pants.
Dude.
Yes.
Ronin. I couldn't figure out her ability. She has that knife, and I wasn't super good with that knife.
Yeah, it's a demolition.
But the shield, I put up the shield and go to town on people.
With Mr. Thick.
Yeah.
Anvil.
Yeah, Anvil. With the Anvil Man.
Yeah.
Fun
game. It's a really good game. Came out of nowhere sort of for me, even though it was really popular. I tend to not play popular games because I'm like a gamer hipster. So
hey, it's good that you can admit that.
Yeah.
I actually don't think you are a gamer hipster, but that's funny.
Okay. Well, and then I played it once. It was free. Jordan loved it. I played it. And I liked it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. So our Couchcast, guys, is something that we do from time to time where the three of us sit down and we play together on stream. And it's exclusive for our Arbiter members or higher. So come and join us. We're getting it all set up here on YouTube. It's been taking a while, so we should be able to do those more regularly. In fact, probably we'll do another one in like a week. Yeah. It was super fun. So make sure you come join us. Become a member over on YouTube and join Jordan Monday and Wednesdays. Jordan, what is your plan this week to stream?
We've already talked about it. Well, not us, but
you and the
stream. Yeah, we're gonna beat Doom.
Oh,
Eternal.
Oh,
and then we're gonna start Immortals: Phoenix Rising.
Oh,
although maybe we'll do a vote. Maybe we'll vote on if they want to beat Immortals or Dragon Quest. We'll let the people vote.
What would you vote?
I don't know.
People.
They're both good. That's why
we'll let you, the people,
the people's choice.
The people's choice. Yeah, I don't know, but one of those two games. I think people were leaning towards Immortals: Phoenix Rising, so maybe we'll go off and beat that one.
Yeah, Spicy, you really liked Immortals.
I love that game. I still haven't beat it, but I really want to. The problem is we have
there's so many options.
It's hard.
Yeah. So what's interesting is I have hundreds of people on my friends list on Xbox because to get into the XoneBros Minecraft server, they make it that you have to be my friend. And so I have all these people as friends. And it used to be, I would say even about a year ago, that even when a new game came out, but even not new games, old games, everybody was divided between about 3 games. Mm-hmm. Same games. Now, 2021, there's very few times that I see a duplicate game being played on my friends list.
Interesting.
Which shows you we're at that point. Remember, we're at that point on the Xbox 360 where you would just browse the store and you'd be like, "Oh, look at what I found right here."
Yeah.
I think Game Pass probably has a lot to do with the variety of games being played as well. I'd be curious. I think most people in our community, I don't know if that carries over to the general Xbox population.
The people.
But
The people.
But I think most people in our community probably have Game Pass, and thus, I'm seeing just such a wide variety of games
Sure.
Yeah.
that I've not seen ever before.
Yeah.
Like this much variety.
Well, remember when we started this podcast, there was Titanfall and like 5 other games?
Forza.
Forza
5.
Titanfall, and Assassin's
Dead
Creed
Rising.
Black Flag.
Yeah.
Rise.
Rise, yeah.
Rise. Rise was
So-
good.
We're at the point where there's tons of games, and you're at the point too where even when a new console comes out, everything's backward compatible. So,
Which has not been done before, so it's
and
not like there's a reset button.
developers are still updating their game. Like you have Assassin's Creed Valhalla that technically was released on the old consoles. Then they gave out the updated version for the new consoles.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's nice.
And then you have the old versions of the game that they don't even make the new version yet and still release it on the new hardware.
And the Xbox team updates it through things like FPS boost and all that stuff.
And then the old version of the game doesn't even work on the old hardware. So it's like, I'm talking about Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Like we played the backwards compatible version
Yeah.
that was meant for the old hardware, and it doesn't even play on the old hardware.
Yeah, have we gotten updates on Cyberpunk, by the way? Because I'm
yeah.
holding off because seeing it on the PC made me think, okay, I'm not.
Yeah, you're
Jordan
waiting for that.
Jordan plowed through.
They basically, they came out with this. Jordan talked about it a couple weeks ago. I can see this as like the guy going into the conference room with the people around the table, and they're like, "All right, we need to say something. What do we say?"
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then they
That's
draw
right.
the graph,
Yeah.
the roadmap.
The fake roadmap.
And they're like, "Here we're gonna do something. Put that down." And so
the guy's taking notes.
Yes.
Something.
Okay.
Something
Next-
with an E, right? Yes.
Yeah. And in Q3, we need to do something else.
Something
else.
Okay, got it.
All right, make that look like something that we can release to the public, and let's go with it.
Something to public. Got it.
All right, let's go
And
to lunch.
all that they did is instead of actually coming up with those concepts, they released that dude's notes. His doodle. It was his doodle.
See, and I kind of find that adorable. Like, I'll be honest, a lot of people are, mad at CD Projekt Red, but it's actually very adorable because they're not a company that was very transparent, and they're trying to be.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
their transparency,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they're trying.
Guys, don't you think this? Yeah, the community manager went to them and was like, guys, I think we should give them something. Like, well, Jim's got some pretty good notes there. Why don't we just throw that up there?
It's on the whiteboard. Do something.
Yeah,
Okay.
Do something in
Will
quarter
you
2.
screenshot that and color it
Do
in?
something
Color
in
it
quarter
yellow,
3.
Give that to our Photoshop guys in the Photoshop, the creative guys.
No,
get it, and the designers are like, what do we do? Okay.
The last
We'll do something with this.
the last big thing that happened with Cyberpunk is the big patch 1.2
Big patch.
was supposed to come out. That was the second big patch because there was a January patch, and then this was supposed to be the February patch that did fix a lot of issues. Then the company got hacked, and they delayed that patch.
It got
So-
hacked.
They didn't expect to get hacked on that brainstorming session that they had with the graphs.
Very few
there
people
was.
do.
What did they put in their thing? So it was at the end of February when they released it. They said they'd be delaying patch 1.2. The recent cyber attack on the studio's IT infrastructure and extensive scope of the update means that unfortunately it will not happen in the time frame that we anticipated. Right, so they
Dang,
delayed
that
it.
sucks.
Yeah, when it rains, it pours, man. Which is a shame because I think Cyberpunk can be a really good game.
Is unloading those attacks on companies like a DDoS attack? Is that's like a federal crime, isn't it?
Oh, sure,
it's
yeah.
like-
Yeah, it
it's
is.
like a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Wasn't it like a kid that did it one time or something in Florida and got in trouble? I don't remember.
Well, I remember, wasn't there a company, was it Microsoft, where they got DDoS attacked by some guy in Canada, and they were like,
Look, we can prosecute you,
or you
we
can
can
work,
hire
or we
you.
can hire you. Yeah, was it them? Who was? I want for some
Do you
reason
know
I'm
how
thinking
good
Microsoft.
you
Maybe
have-
maybe it wasn't.
Do you know
maybe
how
it
good
wasn't
you have to
Microsoft.
be for that to happen? You have to be like next level. People are like, wow.
You're basically describing every 1989 to 1993 hacker movie that came out.
Yeah.
That's basically.
Because like Zero Cool, you remember that? hacking?
I used to be a criminal.
I forgot.
But now I stop the criminals.
What's that? It was the one where like the guy works at the bank and he's always on a skateboard, you know, like the cool crappy skateboard from the 90s. You're describing pretty much every late 80s movie that I know that I grew up as a kid.
Yeah, I forget what company it was. I don't know if it was Microsoft or not, but it was a big company. But remember, they were like, we can prosecute you or we can hire you.
Yeah, you know how good you have to be, though? Like, you have to be next level. Like a prodigy.
Yeah.
Like Zero Cool.
Like zero.
That's the kid's call sign from that one movie.
What was the movie where, like, there was a couple movies like this. Like, there was the Power Glove one where he had, like, the powers built into his Power Glove and they became real-life abilities that he could use. And then there was the one where the kids were, like, they would play video games, but then they had video games powers, and there was, like, 3 of them. They were all 80s movies.
I think you're talking about Double Dragon.
Maybe I
And
am.
do you know what's interesting? The character on Bleeding Edge, his name was Zero Cool. You know the guy that laid down?
the healer.
Yeah. And that is the guy, that is the character from that movie. So he hacked a bank, and then he went to jail, basically kid jail, and he couldn't touch a computer for like 20 years. And then he came out and everything changed. That was like Angelina Jolie's first movie, or one of them. True facts, man.
That
Interesting.
is.
You
That
guys should go watch your 80s hacking movies. Trust me,
is.
they're good. They're really good. Yeah. And insert awkward silence now.
I was thinking. So I was trying to remember what the name of that movie is. I have no idea. Let me ask you this.
Hackers, is that the movie I'm talking
It's called
about?
Hackers. Best hacker movie is Hackers. Oh, okay. Very cool. Chad is telling us it's Hackers.
And the Wizard, yeah, they're talking about the Wizard. The Wizard was that kid that played with the power. Well, it was the Mario 3 tournament. That this kid
That's
was
what it
really
was.
good, and he was like 8 years old. He didn't say much, but he was damn good at
that
video
Power
games.
Glove.
And he went to the gaming tournament.
The Power Glove is like, in all honesty, it's the most useless piece of hardware.
Are you kidding? No
Ever.
way.
No.
It had what we call cool factor. And that is very important when you're 10 years
when
old.
you're 10 years. But here's the thing: it was the controller put on your arm, so you can't hold it with 2 hands.
See,
how
is that a bad thing?
You have to like boop boop beep. Okay, move, jump, move.
Yeah.
How is that a bad thing?
It's true. The other one that was cool that my friend had, but then no games came out for it, and Nintendo had Virtual Boy. Remember that? Where like you put your eyes.
Oh, yeah,
It
the
like
Virtual
sat
Boy.
on the table and you put, and it was
It was
lines.
the first
It was
virtual
3D.
reality
It was
stuff,
3D
yeah.
lines.
There was tennis and stuff like that.
And isn't there like lawsuits where it just gave everybody migraines?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, it was. I didn't think it was. I didn't think they thought that through.
We actually
When you had burn your retinas.
we
Okay,
actually.
guys, I read a lawsuit that made me laugh.
Okay, what's that?
So there was, I saw it. I think it was. I saw it in our Discord. Apparently, Bethesda was being sued over. Like they said that they would release something
And they didn't?
for free, and then they ended up releasing other stuff in
Okay.
addition. To me, it doesn't sound like it's all that big of a deal, but the part that made me laugh, and like your mind starts working when you hear this story. You're reading this serious news story about like this lawsuit, and it's like, oh, and it's it's going through like, oh yeah, this and this happened, and then the victim's mother decided to sue for him, and it was like
That's funny.
Yeah, just sorry.
That is funny.
Hey, sorry guys, that makes me laugh.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
you
it's
gotta-
like the dude that won the Madden tournament.
yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, I'd like to. He legitimately said this. I'd like to thank my mom
for letting
He's like,
me.
for letting me live in her basement so that I could do this.
Hey, he's giving credit where credit is
No, it
due.
is true, but it's like
it's funny.
it's just the way you word it. He could have just said, "I'd like to thank my mom for all of her support. Without her, I couldn't do this."
For all the hot pockets.
Yeah, but he went straight to like the gamer stereotype and was like, "I'd like to thank my mom for letting me live in her basement."
Oh, that was funny.
Thank you, DoorDash, for letting me never have to leave the house.
Well, when I read that lawsuit thing and like that, they try to like hide it because they kind of threw it in on the last sentence, and then the victim's mother sued. It was like you can only imagine. Like you just started thinking in your head. Like I feel, and don't get me wrong, I don't really know anything about it, but I think after that sentence, that lawsuit legitimacy lost like 60% for me.
Yeah,
I was like,
gotta do that.
well, is this really, is this one of those,
It's how you're describing it is like, and then they lived happily ever after. and then the mother sued.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
As if it's like a story.
It made me laugh. But anyway, I don't know anything about it, so I can't really make a.
Hey, you know what?
I just saw that.
Remember
sentence
last
and it
week
made
we
me
came
laugh.
across the. Was it you that saw it? Someone saw it. Their gamer tag was Jordan.
Yeah, it was me. It was in Rogue Company actually. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, that's cool.
So if you could, I've been thinking about that all week. If you could redo your gamer tag, would you redo it to Jordan?
No.
I think I would. I think I'd.
You would be
had-
Jordan.
you
Then
had-
what would?
I'd be David.
No, you had your gamer tag as your name one time, and remember you changed it
I
because you
did.
didn't like it.
Well, but it was my full.
Remember
name.
because
because it was my full
because
name.
Microsoft messaged you and said, "Hey, your current gamer tag's really offensive. We've had a lot of complaints."
That
Which
was-
I would like to see those complaints.
That was bend over, guys.
yeah, that was a good gamer tag, and I really to this day I would like to see those complaints,
Yeah.
Microsoft,
Yeah.
because that was a great gamer tag, and it encouraged chat in a lot of these multiplayer games.
For those of you that are new to the show, we have a lot of new first timers here listening and watching. My original gamer tag was bend over, guys,
Like,
and then it got
after
it
like
lasted
3
5
years,
Yeah,
no,
it was a
forever.
while.
That's
And
what I'd
then-
like to see.
And
those.
then it changed to X1
would you like to
Bros.
explain why it was that one?
It was that one because when we got the 360,
Yeah.
and a projector.
And
we got the 360 and it was setting it up, and I left to the bathroom, and Spicy and Jim
Jim from the show.
from
You
the
guys
show
know.
we're there
We're
setting
like,
up the Xbox, and they
What's the
just put
du-
it that.
What's the dumbest one we could think of?
Yeah, they put that, and then
And it was
just left,
permanent.
and it was permanent.
Yeah.
And it'd be funny. I would jump into games, and people were like, "Are you a girl?" Nice.
Hey, it started a lot of chat.
It did start a lot of chat.
It was a conversation piece.
Yeah. Reactor League says mine was Vader 75. Master Vader. Oh, that's hilarious. I get it.
Yeah, but then one
get it.
morning we logged in to play, I don't know,
And it like
Halo, and then you got this big old message
I had
from
to
Microsoft.
change it. They let me
that
change
said-
it for free.
Yeah,
but I had
because
to
it
change
was
and then I changed it to X1 Bros, and then the X1 Bros was born. Shortly after.
Didn't
Yeah.
you change it to David Paskett?
Yeah, after that, then
I
you
think
changed it to
then I
X1
changed it
Bros.
to X1 Bros. That's correct.
I
I changed it to my whole name.
I had a spiel like a year after the Xbox was released, where I changed it to Hex.
Oh, I remember that.
Hex.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Box space K-O Hobe. And the reason I did that is because people
Connect,
would when
'cause
I
of
would
Connect.
when I'd be playing Call of Duty, the box came with the Connect, and they would say, "Hey, Hexbox Hobe," and the Connect would pull them out of the Call of Duty game, and I would always see them just such and such left the game.
The modern day version of that is Alexa.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. She's right there.
She's listening. Stop.
So I had a year of
or
that,
S-
and
or
it was
Siri.
so funny because when anybody would say my name over chat, it would immediately say they have left the game. I felt really fun with that.
Oh, that's right, because on 360 it would take you out to the menu.
Yeah, it would kill the game.
That's right. That's
No,
funny.
that was on the one because everybody had the Connect.
No, yeah,
Yeah,
it
that
was
was on the one,
it was.
yeah.
I had it for like a year, and then I switched it.
Spicy, you're Mr. McSpicy.
Yeah.
Would you, if you could pick any name in the world, would you change it or would you stay as Mr. McSpicy?
I think I'd change. I think I'd keep it because that gamer tag was born before gaming for me.
Oh,
like
okay.
when I was a teenager did that for whatever. I've had that for 30 years.
Yeah.
Less than that, 20 years. But that's a long time. And it's who I am. I'm spicy. You know.
Yeah. I just think it'd be cool to have your first name and they would just think
Obviously, it isn't because you changed it and you had your name on there.
but it was my full name. Having my full name not as cool.
The best ones are the ones that are only 2 letters because that means they were in the alpha of Xbox Live.
oh,
yeah,
really?
so
I don't know
like
that.
Phil
I didn't know
Spencer
that.
is P3.
P3?
It's very
I've seen, I don't know who he was, but I've seen in a game A1.
sauce.
Oh.
That's nice.
Just A1. And I'm
That
like,
is
he
cool.
is an OG son of a gun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's way
The
cool.
2-letter ones don't
okay,
exist
what
anymore.
would you go to? Two characters. What would yours be?
KO.
69.
16.
You set
That
me
one's
up
going to
for-
be taken fast. You got to be quick on that one.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
KO
what
would
I'd-
be good. KO's good.
Yeah. I guess.
PP.
PP's a great one. No, that's a good one. Oh my gosh.
That one's-
Why are we
yeah.
here, David? Are we doing
I
a
don't
show?
know. Yeah, let's get to Bethesda is officially on Xbox. And guess what, everybody? Guess what we learned? We're going to go over the news story. But for everybody, who even ready for this, even after this announcement, I saw an article, I kid you not, today on IGN saying, well, we're still unsure about whether or not games are going to be exclusive to Xbox. Everybody in the sound of my voice. the Xbox games are exclusive. Sorry, not to Xbox, I guess. Technically, they're right. To Game Pass, which is Xbox. Bethesda's on Game Pass, baby. Let's go over. It's official. It's a good day. It is a good day. Oh, FU is a good one for 2 letters.
Hey, yeah,
That's a good one. Sorry, everybody. Chat distracted me. That's a really good one. Everybody, Bethesda. It's here. Jordan, let's go through
yes.
it.
So it is.
Let's actually go through Phil Spencer's quote.
This whole thing basically gets you excited to be an Xbox gamer. If you're an Xbox gamer, you're a good time. So
yeah, just pull up. I don't know. Pick a game.
yeah. So let's start with the big thing, the exclusives, and they started with this pretty much a few minutes into the show.
Can I read it? Can I read Phil Spencer's
Yeah.
quote?
Read the first part.
Okay.
Here, I'll let you read the second part since that's the part that you want.
No, I'll read the whole thing. Can I
Okay.
do the whole thing?
Read the
Okay.
first part.
Phil Spencer. Here's what he said, everybody, during the Bethesda get to know you.
Yeah, it was the round table, and it was right off the beginning. He kind of had two different. It was kind of in 2 parts here.
Yeah, and you can go and watch it, everybody. It's on YouTube. Just type in Xbox Bethesda. Phil Spencer, Todd Howard, everybody sat down around the table and just discussed things that are happening. Here's what Phil Spencer said during that event. He said, quote, "So obviously I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive because we know that's not true. There's contractual obligations that we're going to see through, as we always do in every one of these instances. We have games that exist on other platforms, and we're going to go support those games on the platforms they're on. There's communities of players, and we love those communities, and we'll continue to invest in them. And even in the future, there might be things that have contractual things or legacy on different platforms that will go do." Jordan, give me an example.
Now, so what he's talking about here is ESO, right? It's
Elder Scrolls, it's on every platform. You're not going to take that away?
Not only do you have a good community on PC and Xbox, you have a really good community on the PlayStation 4 as well. They're not going to take that away, and I think that's what he might be talking about, legacy as well. That one will continue to have its expansions be put on the PlayStation 4 because the game, basically everything that's already out will continue to be where it is. So Fallout 76, which is also on the PlayStation, will probably get continuous updates for the PlayStation because it's already there, right? I think when he talks about future content, he's talking about Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, which are 2 games that are coming exclusive to the PlayStation, which still are because they were all obviously
contractual
obligations. Yeah. Now, I do think those 2 games will eventually come to the Xbox as well. I think they'll just be timed exclusives. Only time will tell. But this next quote will basically, everything going forward is what we're assuming is going on.
Phil Spencer continues, and he says, and are you ready, everybody? If you're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is that this is about delivering great exclusive games. Let me read that again. If you're an Xbox customer, the thing I want you to know is that this, and by this we mean the Bethesda purchase for $7 billion.
0.5.
Is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. That's our goal. That's why we're doing this. That's the root of this partnership that we're building.
So what that means,
boom,
is
mic drop, walk away.
Essentially, it sounds like, I mean, we don't know what the contractual agreements are with like Starfield. I assume there's not any. The only one where I'd given a maybe is Indiana Jones, because that's licensed by Lucasfilm or LucasArts, or I don't know. That one maybe, but again, we don't know because that's so far off in development. So all future games will be Game Pass exclusives, which means
Elder Scrolls for sure.
Yeah.
I would say Doom.
I would even anything. I would.
Bethesda.
I mean, I would say Starfield, which I think we're going to hear more about later this year. Starfield, because I mean, it basically sounds like every game that is not yet released, minus the contractual Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo, right? Because those are already.
And I'm sorry if I'm being obnoxious, everybody. But there is this argument that I keep seeing around that people still, even after that, are saying, "Well, Bethesda, why don't they bring these games? They would make more money if they brought these games." If they released the PlayStation, the answer is no, they wouldn't.
That's a weak argument.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think it's an argument. I think it's the 5 stages of denial.
That's a good point. Yeah,
they're just grasping.
Because the reason that's not an argument, basically saying, well, they'll make more money if they bring Starfield and ESO 6 to PlayStation, because you can just say, okay, well, what about on the flip side? Why isn't God of War, Last of Us Part 2, and the Uncharted series everywhere? Because they'd make more money.
Because in
that's
the
not
long run, the money you're going to make is
exclusive,
pulling people into your ecosystem. Granted, it's the internet, so it's probably some trolls saying that. But I do see that argument still, and it really does. I question your sanity.
This is why Sony does not make Thor movies. Let's see it, because Disney bought that IP.
Or why KFC doesn't allow their chicken to be sold at McDonald's.
But you
Correct.
can make more money.
You could make more money if you
But
sold
that's
that
There's
chicken.
a chain over there that we can just do a lateral.
Let's
No, it's because they own the rights to it now. So now they want them to come over
Exclusive.
here.
Wait, like
we have the
like exclusive.
We have the spicy chicken sandwich.
Dude, can I just
What
say, by the
frustrates-
way, hold on, pause.
Yeah.
KFC is so freaking good.
It really is. It's so good.
But
Yeah,
it's
it
so
is.
expensive.
Yeah.
But it's so
sounds
good.
So.
Yeah.
So I actually
good
this
thought.
is actually what
Yeah,
because
yeah.
this is a big deal, this exclusive stuff. There's still people talking about it. There's still, I mean, let's be honest, I don't know what contracts are in place with Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6 and Indiana Jones are the 3 big ones I'm thinking of. But I would assume that just like Phil Spencer said, those games, any game going forward, all these future games coming out that don't have those contractual agreements, which I'm assuming is Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6, and hopefully Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
will be exclusive to Game Pass, because that's basically what he said here, right? Now, what frustrates me about this, and I think
Give it to me,
I
baby.
do think there's a double standard in the gaming news / journalism field
Arena?
arena. Thank you. Because when Sony announced Final Fantasy as a console exclusive, no one said anything. They went, "Oh, rip Xbox." You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, why is it okay for them to do that but not for Xbox? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? I do really feel like there's a double standard. And I'm going to say it out loud. There's a double standard in the gaming arena. And that double standard is it's okay when Sony does something, but it's not okay when
Yeah.
Microsoft does something.
And well, there shouldn't be.
No, there shouldn't at all.
It's just the whole thing. We all own all consoles and we play on our PCs and everything. There shouldn't be a double standard. If competition's great, we should all just enjoy the games that we love.
Yeah, Sony did that. They got Final Fantasy 16 to be an exclusive to their console. Now it does sound like it's coming to PC as well, but they got that console exclusivity because guess what? They could make more money if they release it everywhere. But that's not the point. The point is it's going to force you to come to Sony's console. Now, I thought that was a huge blow to Xbox gamers, and that was a real bummer because Final Fantasy 16 being developed by Yoshi P, great developer, does Final Fantasy 14. I think it's going to be, and the trailer that we saw, I think it's going to be a hardcore game. And it was a huge blow
It's
to
a
Xbox.
good move by Sony.
Yeah, a good move by Sony. It was a huge blow to Xbox. But I think Elder Scrolls 6 is just as big as Final Fantasy, and I think that's a good move by Xbox and a huge blow to Sony. I mean, the reason they do this is, like you said, competition, right? They're trying to give you a reason to come to Xbox with Game Pass.
Well,
you
more
know
than that, you can see the strategy clearly as Game Pass here because look at all these games now on Game Pass. Can we go through them real quick? Let's just go down the list.
We have 20 games that
on
are
Game Pass right now with this official deal being done. We've got Dishonored Definitive Edition, Dishonored Fantastic Series. That's Dishonored 1. I mean Dishonored 2. Then we've got all the Dooms, Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom
now
64.
those
Doom
are the
Eternal.
original Dooms.
Yeah. And then the new ones too. Then we've got all the Elder Scrolls.
Oh,
Skyrim.
This is actually a huge deal, by the way. Having
yeah.
Morrowind, Oblivion, and the big one, Skyrim.
Skyrim.
And don't skip over this lightly, but what's a big deal about this is Aaron Greenberg talked about during that roundtable meeting that some of these games, he didn't announce which ones, but we can obviously assume which ones, are going to get the FPS game boost, and they're working on it currently. Games like Oblivion, which I think Oblivion is really good.
Yeah,
really well done
Many people consider it the best game ever made.
Well,
Really?
I remember Oblivion. I mean, all Elder Scrolls games do this, but Oblivion, I think because it was the jump from, on the 360, right? It came, 2 months into the 360? So it was really new at the time. If you go back and do it now, it probably won't be as big a deal because it's a little bit older. But in the Elder Scrolls game, you always start out like in a dungeon or in a confined area somehow. You did in Morrowind on the ship, and then you kind of went out in the world. In Oblivion, you start out in the sewers, and then you open the door and you see the entire world. You did this in Skyrim too. And I remember the first time I walked out of the sewer and you see the entire world of Oblivion, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was really cool because before that, in Morrowind, I don't know if you guys remember, but the draw distance was like 10 feet because it was like all misty. It was just.
And by that time, you've already aggroed everybody.
Yeah, it was just. You'll notice you can only see so far, and then the game was like foggy. It was just a product of its time. But Oblivion was the first time you were able to see the entire world, and it was one of the first times in Elder Scrolls, which this is basically in all their games now, where you can see a peak off into the distance and you can go there and explore it. And there may be a dungeon, there may be a treasure chest, there may be monsters, you don't know. But it was the first time you walked out of this sewer and you were like, the whole world was in front of you to explore,
You're like,
and
wow.
whatever you could see, you could go do. It was
Yeah,
very
that
cool,
was
very well done. Now, if you go back and do that now, because it is on Game Pass via backward compatibility, I mean, you probably won't have that same feeling that I
No,
had.
because what you'll
it's just,
see is like triangles
Yeah,
in the distance.
but just remember, at the time, that was amazing. You know what I mean?
We've got The Evil Within.
Elder Scrolls Online. Don't forget that one.
Elder Scrolls Online, obviously.
Which we're watching, by the way.
Yeah, Evil Within, which neither of you have played Evil Within, have you?
We tried to. It was too scary for me.
Evil Within.
I'm not good with scary
No,
games.
Evil Within is not really a horror game. To me, it's closer to like a Resident Evil.
Dude,
and I think it's one of the most, it kind of flies under the radar for me. I think it's a masterpiece. It's so good. Guys, if you haven't played Evil Within, it's now on Game Pass. Go check it out. I loved, which is funny, I think I've bought almost every one of these games. Yeah. Fallout 76.
Fallout 4. Don't
You just
skip Fallout
witnessed
4.
David fact-checking his own statement.
Did I buy? Yep, I got them all.
Fallout 4 is there. Fallout 76. Fallout New Vegas. I mean, the Fallout series.
Dude, that's another big one.
That's huge.
Fallout New Vegas.
Huge. We've got Prey. We've got Rage 2, baby. Oh.
That was a fun game.
It wasn't the
It
masterpiece.
wasn't. Yeah,
But
it
it was
wasn't
very
like. Yeah,
good.
it was really fun. I mean, now that it's on Game Pass, I think it's worth it. You know
Oh,
what
yeah,
I mean?
no, most definitely.
Yeah, but
You've got all the Wolfensteins as well right now on Game Pass, all future games, and so you can see. Look at that library that just grew on Game Pass. How big of a game changer is this move, Spicy? How excited are you for Bethesda? This obviously we're in agreement. This is the right move by Xbox, but how big of a move is this?
I mean, it's
by Xbox.
It's scaring a lot a journalists. 'Cause
Yeah,
now
yeah.
they're gonna have to buy another console.
Yeah, no, that's true.
They're
I see what you did
terrified.
there, yeah.
You know, they're
Oh.
no, they're exclusive, so they're gonna stay. They're gonna stay, right?
Yeah.
No. It's actually a very big deal. Bethesda has a pedigree of great games, really good games. Many considered to be the best ever. I mean, Skyrim. Everybody bought Skyrim. Everybody did.
How many times did that game re-release and was successful on every single re-release?
Yeah, it's still popular today.
Oh, it was like I think it was in the gold on Steam for last year. It's one of the top selling games.
If you haven't played Skyrim and you're just a fan, or even just a lukewarm fan of RPGs, now that it's on, well, I mean, it's been on Game Pass for a little bit, I think, but I mean, it's worth played. It's one of the best RPGs out there.
It's on everything. It's even people that didn't game played that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, chat's saying they even have Skyrim on their Alexa. I mean, it's literally it's.
Stop saying her name.
Oh, yeah.
She's over there talking to us. Oh, so yeah, back to it. Yeah, I mean, the list right here. This is not a list you go through and say, "Oh, that's not."
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. I mean,
The value is undeniable for Game Pass.
Absolutely undeniable. And the fact that the games that are coming out that we're expecting. I mean, think of Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, ESO, Elder Scrolls 6. Like that pedigree of that right there alone, having Elder Scrolls most likely be exclusive, people are going to be playing it on a Windows computer or on an Xbox.
Yeah, or via xCloud. That's the other thing.
Correct.
That Game Pass is. Right?
That is where you're going to be playing that game, and that is a
most
big
likely
deal.
and most likely via your Game Pass subscription via Microsoft.
That is a big deal. That it's not going anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, gaming is changing.
I think I played.
This is-
I played Skyrim on the PlayStation first.
Oh, did you?
Actually,
Oh, really?
yeah, I did. I played it on the PlayStation first, and then I got it. That's one of the games I've bought 5 times. I think.
Yeah,
I think I have it on every possible thing that I could ever have it on.
Yeah, it's even on Nintendo.
The
It's everywhere.
Switch, yeah.
I have it everywhere.
So the other cool thing that they talked about during this meeting, they didn't talk about it a ton. Well, they did. They went through all their different developers and had all the studio heads talk about it, but they did hit on collaboration.
Collaboration.
And this is really interesting. So not only does Xbox own Bethesda now and their games, but they own the id Tech engine, which is by id, and they own all the studios under Bethesda, which would be like Tango Gameworks, id Software, Arcane, all their studios.
Yeah.
What's cool is those studios collaborate with each other. They talked about it during the press conference. They help each other out with games. I think they were talking about there was a game like Arcane actually made one of the enemies for Doom Eternal, which is id Software's game. What's really cool, and even Phil Spencer hit on this a little bit. How cool would it be? Imagine Doom Eternal, id Software, collaborating
smooth
with
it is.
343 and the Coalition on Gears, and help. Now, I'm not saying that. Hey, they're gonna take Halo and make the next Halo. I don't think that's gonna happen. What I'm saying is
Your resource pool just opened up.
The manpower you have, and not just the manpower, but the talented manpower that you now have, where you can go over to id and say, hey, we like what you guys did here, how can we incorporate that into our game? It's just like what we talked about last week when EA took Criterion Games and they took them off their current project and put them to help on Battlefield 5 to make that game, or Battlefield 6 to make that game that much better.
Yeah.
I think that is just as big a deal as having all the games that you have.
I agree.
You're combining the powers of idea guys and stuff guys.
Yeah. When just let's
you have your Jims and your Hanks. And they're going to get together by the cooler and they're going to come up with some,
Hanks.
they're going to come up with some great ideas.
At the new meetings, it's just what did you just say? Your resource pool just grew, and it's not just it's a talented resource pool. I mean, you have id Software and Machine Games, who I think are fantastic first-person shooter developers and very talented. I mean, Machine Games is busy working on Indiana Jones right now. Yeah. But, I mean, like I said, can you imagine id Software saying, hey, we should do in the new Halo or the new Gears of War?
They're going to go through the cafeteria line and sit all in the same
table. Yeah.
And that's,
okay. Who's the cool kid table?
It would have to be the dude.
Wherever Tom Howard is,
Todd Howard,
he wears a leather jacket. He is cool.
Out of, let's say by games, let's say each table is divided up by game that they've developed. Who's and we'll take all of Xbox games now, first party titles, including Bethesda. Who's the cool kid? What's the cool kid table? And what is like the band table?
The band table.
Which
that's hard because
depending on your location, could be the cool table too.
Could be.
Well, that's really hard to say because I feel like for example, Todd Howard, he technically works for the Bethesda side. He's the vice executive producer of Bethesda Games or something like that. I don't know what his title is. But I mean, wherever he sits, that's pretty good. But then you have the Doom Slayer.
Doom is going to be like your rock table.
No, I think they're like, oh man, look at those.
Those are like your rockers.
They're
like
your skaters.
Your rocker table. Your skaters, like your rebels.
I feel like Arcane would actually be your skaters. They're the ones that do Dishonored.
Okay. No, Dishonored. No, they're a little bit emo.
They're the goth.
They're the goth.
Emo. Yeah,
they're totally
right?
like they wear the black lipstick and the black fingernail polish.
That's the emo table. Flight Simulator might be the nerd table.
They play chess.
That's the nerd table.
Chess team.
I think that's the nerd table. Yeah.
Where would 343 be? I feel like they're.
I feel like that's the jock table. It's a good jock table.
Yeah, they're wearing their Letterman jackets.
Yeah,
they're the Letterman jackets.
The kids that play Magic the Gathering at lunch, that's the Obsidian table.
That's perfect.
Right.
That's the Obsidian table. Yeah,
that's the Obsidian table.
Yeah.
So anyway, no, I think I would almost say I'm more excited for this collaboration stuff because now you just have you have all these teams under the same umbrella.
Yeah. Rescue Rook just dropped a super chat in chat. Thank you very much, Rescue Rook. He says, do you think Bethesda and Obsidian will work together on a new Fallout? Or is Microsoft going to be that friend that basically keeps the two from killing each other?
Whoa, guys, hey.
So, why that's relevant...
Hug right now.
Yeah, hug, hey. Why that's relevant is because Obsidian did
Fallout
New Vegas, which is one of... I've never played it,
really
but you guys played
really
it.
well done, yeah. I think it has one of the best DLC story. Like, it's really well done.
So, do you guys think... Let's start with Spicy here.
Hold on. Playground Games is the auto shop class. That's great.
Jake the Tank, that's hilarious. But Rescue Rook, so do you think Bethesda and Obsidian will work together on a new Fallout? Spicy?
Well, I don't know.
Well,
would you...
If you were in charge, would you have that combo happen or no?
Well,
Why not?
Yeah, why not? You have the pool of very, very talented people come together, and I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, it would. They're all going to be near each other now in the same cafeteria.
Yeah.
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 I don't see why that would be bad.
Yeah, I think they might help each other on a Fallout game. I don't know because I don't think it'd be anytime soon. Because isn't Obsidian working on Avowed? Which is basically their...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, their...
Oh, man. We forgot about Avowed.
Yeah.
And we don't even know anything about that except
other than it
first-person fantasy.
Other than it looks like Skyrim.
First-person high fantasy. It looks like a first-person Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So I think it falls under more collaboration. Maybe Obsidian will help develop some of it, or vice versa.
Well, collaboration and more support than they've had in the past. They have the pocket of one of the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah.
Well, and
they have the checkbook of that.
checkbook,
right? Yeah.
No, and it's really fascinating. And what's also kind of cool, I thought about this a little bit today too, with Phil Spencer talking about exclusive games that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists. I mean, that's PC, Xbox, and xCloud, which is essentially servers.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll make it easier on development? They're essentially developing for almost one operating system, because aren't Windows and Xbox very similar? And then I assume the servers on xCloud are essentially Xbox servers.
That's
so
their
that's
goal, to make it easier
to make
on
development
developers.
easier. So we might not have as many Bethesda bugs as we're used to, because they can focus.
Oh man, I might enjoy my games.
Yeah. So
one more thing before I move on. We're going to hear more about this over the summer.
yeah,
Correct, from Bethesda.
Erin Losey, she was on the show too. She's the vice president of global marketing and communications. They
Yeah.
all have cool titles. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
She basically confirmed that they're going to have some type of summer event where they'll talk more about what's going on. And I think that's where we're going to get some Starfield announcements. I think Starfield is the next big game from Bethesda. Well, we know it's a game in development. I think it's their next big game in development. And I think we'll get it late this year or very early next year, January.
Dirty.
So, and I do think, only time will tell. Like you said, like Phil Spencer said, the contractual agreements, we'll see what happens with these exclusives. But from what it sounds like, all these new games, and I think Starfield will be one of them. I think Elder Scrolls 6 after that will be one of them. I think Starfield will be the first big Game Pass exclusive.
That's going to be very exciting. Very, very exciting. That brings us to the next segment of our show. This is the portion where we take your questions. And we've got some Bethesda-related questions, because that's obviously the big news this week. Let's jump to the first one. Rose City Gamer writes in and says, "Hey, bros, pick one Bethesda ZeniMax game for a full remake, and why?" Jordan, what game do you pick for a remake, and why?
To be honest, this may be a weird one.
Okay.
I would like to see them redo Morrowind, kind of like they redid Skyrim.
I don't think that's a weird one at all.
Reason being is because, like we talked about, if you go, Morrowind was original Xbox. It was, they were up until that point, they were PC only. Microsoft came and said, "Hey, can you put this game on the Xbox?" They were like, "Oh, okay, we'll try." And they did, because Morrowind was, I don't know if it eventually came to PlayStation 2 or what was it, Nintendo GameCube or something at the time. I don't think it ever came to either. But anyway, it was an Xbox game. And technology at the time, that draw distance, I would love to have an experience in Morrowind, modern day, like I had in Oblivion way back then, where you walk out and you just see this huge open world. And Morrowind was more of like an alien world.
Yeah.
You really felt like you were...
It was different.
You were like a stranger in a distant land. You really had that feel in Morrowind. Yeah. I would like to... I'm just talking about like that draw distance, because it's kind of funny and weird to go back and like, I can only see like 30 feet in front of me. What's going on? So I would like to see... I think Morrowind remastered would be a cool...
Spicy. What would you like to see remastered from Bethesda, and why?
I'm going through the list, because there's more than what you have here, right?
Yeah.
Because, I'm looking at the list now. Doom, it's been remastered. I'm looking at Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
it's been remastered, right? So I want to go to like the older series.
You can do Daggerfall and Arena.
Mm-hmm.
That's Elder Scrolls 1 and 2.
I don't want to... Okay. I'm going to bring this up again.
I
hardly ever bring this up.
Bring it up.
Because it made me really sad about having a very poorly game published. But Brink, the concept of Brink, was very exciting.
If they could do it right,
that was a
you'd like
Bethesda
them
published
to
game.
redo that?
It's one of my least favorite games of all time.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Because I got so excited behind the concept behind it.
Yeah. And explain, what was the concept?
The concept was people can go in and out. It was basically like... Okay, it was kind of like a Lego game, where you could go in and out whenever you wanted, and it wouldn't affect gameplay. It was still very competitive. That idea was really interesting to me at the time.
in a PvP
arena. And having the running up the walls, the smooth slides, just the concept of that game was really cool. However, on launch, I felt like I was lied to. I felt like a whole bunch of things were wrong with the game. and I wasted $60 when I bought that.
Yeah, I believe Freaky RO even sent you a Brink.
I know he did. It's been a joke on the show with a lot of the OG listeners that they like to just tease me about how
Brink,
much I hate Brink, because I hated Brink. It was really a terrible game, and I'm only bringing it up now because if they could bring that concept to reality and have it not suck and have like their concepts work, it would be a great game.
Yeah,
I think they actually took the art style from Brink and made Dishonored.
Yeah,
I think
that's why. Was it Arcane that made Brink? Because it was Bethesda that
maybe
published it.
Sure, yeah.
I wonder if it was the same studio that made it, and then they took that art style and did Dishonored.
I didn't want to bring that up. I wanted to get another game, but really though, if that game could have been really good.
yeah. No,
so I would say probably Brink
It was Splash Damage.
because it burned me.
Burned you good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I would like. Jordan, just going through. I jumped into Elder Scrolls with Skyrim. I jumped into Fallout with Fallout 4. So I never got to experience these other worlds in those series. I would love for them to do what they did with not Halo Infinite, Halo Master Chief Collection.
Oh yeah, with all the Elder
With all
Scrolls?
of them. Bring me put all the Fallouts in one. Maybe you select one of the old ones. Maybe you select the New Vegas, whatever one you think is your crown jewel, and do what you did to like a Halo 2 or and just kind of upgrade everything a little bit, but put it in one package so I could go back. Could you imagine how long that package would be for like the Elder Scrolls, all the Elder Scrolls? That would be hilarious. But yeah, I would like to see I would like to see a Master Chief for the Elder Scrolls series or for Fallout.
Yeah.
So that I could go back and experience everything.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
You could do, because Bethesda took over at Fallout 3, so you could really do that. It'd be Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, and then Fallout 4 you wouldn't have to touch.
Yeah.
You know what
that'd be
game is
cool.
on this list, David? It's a game you've brought up before. Home Alone from the NES.
Dude! To redo that one. That'd be cool. What's fun about that game is a 20-minute timer. Can you survive the 20 minutes? By dropping traps become rarer, different things. And I'm sure there's all kinds of bugs that you didn't know about as a kid.
These are
because the
all
internet
like
didn't exist.
old Bethesda.
Yeah.
Does Bethesda even own those, or were they just
I don't know.
Because I wonder if they were just developers on those,
Yeah.
That's
1991.
Yeah.
Was when
They,
that
I
came
know
out.
they did like Wayne Gretzky hockey, and I think they did a Terminator game. And
They did Terminator, and that was a DOS game, by the way. Oh man, the good old days of installing sound cards.
Rose City Gamer, thank you very much for the question. We do have another Bethesda question from Marshall Race, who writes in and says, did the XoneBros see all the Bethesda games that dropped into Game Pass? Yes, we did. Which ones are you gentlemen jumping into or re-jumping into first? The one that got me excited, I'll go first, is Evil Within. I'm telling you.
yeah.
Evil Within is a masterpiece, and I think it's like a niche game because of the kind of game that it is. But because when I look at it, I think, oh, horror game. It's actually not. It's closer to a Resident Evil, which I don't consider Resident Evil a horror game. I consider it a dark adventure with zombies. But Evil Within, I really would like to jump into that because the minute you fire it up, you're like, wow, this is amazing. Jordan, how about you? First game from the Game Pass?
I would probably
selection.
Oblivion. I mean, that was just. Maybe we'll even stream it as like a retro game night.
Retro game night.
So,
Going back.
because I know, like, if you were to play it now, like, if you were fresh and this was your first Elder Scrolls game, I would suggest playing like Skyrim remastered.
Even Skyrim feels a little dated.
But but it's. I don't know. It still holds up.
Just
though.
mod that bad boy.
Yeah.
Just mod the crap out of it. Spicy. Out of that list of the newly Game Pass games, which one's jumping into first?
There are so many that I never finished, and that I really like. I have to finish all the Wolfensteins.
Oh yeah,
I've played them all.
Oh,
I now
yeah.
have to finish them all.
Have you beat any of them?
No, I've gotten far
Dude, the end
in the campaign.
The end of the first one, from a storytelling standpoint, I think is one of the most underrated stories. Like the way they do it, it's so good.
Well, how even throughout the game, it's amazing.
Yeah.
How their use of music. Oh my goodness, I love it. And then of course I gotta finish the Dooms.
Doom Eternal.
I finished the first one. I
really,
didn't finish the second
So
one.
Doom's really good, and I've been playing through Doom Eternal. Not only is that game actually very difficult on the normal difficulty, I think it was Super Shocker who told me Doom Eternal's normal difficulty is other games impossible. So it's actually, so the first couple levels kind of teach you how to play the game, and then they just drop you in, and you should know how to play by then. But Doom Eternal is, I think I was telling you guys before the show, I think last year my game of the year was Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, Warzone.
Warzone, it was.
Because I
Warzone,
just played
yeah.
it a lot, and
Yeah.
I do think it was a really good game. And I don't know if I put Doom Eternal on the list. I did play Doom Eternal last year, like, a little
But
bit
you
into the
didn't
game.
dive in.
But I didn't dive in like I am this week. And did that game, they really are. It's the first person. I can't even talk.
Well,
The first, it is one of the best first person shooters. How smooth it is, the gameplay loop, the awesomeness of not only your character but the music. Oh, sorry.
Well, I just want to jump in here real quick, just because that gameplay loop that you're talking
Mm-hmm.
about, what they do is they make you, it's God mode. You're destroying everybody, and they're forcing you to destroy everybody to get health.
Yeah.
It's actually, I jumped into Outriders this week.
Similar to that, right? Yeah.
And it's that same feeling, and Outriders is very addicting because of that. It rewards you for doing what I do, running in and wanting to kill people.
Yeah.
And that's what Doom does, and it just nails it.
Yeah, Doom,
really
instead
well.
of, so it's reload button. So there's no traditional reload your weapon button. To get more ammo to reload, you have to chainsaw someone in half. And that's how you get your ammo. And then glory kill to get your health. Like it's really good. And the level design. Doom does a good job of making you want to collect everything, because everything you collect has a very cool purpose in the game. Even if it's just the floppy disks or the records that you can go back to the Fortress of Doom, which is basically the greatest man cave ever, and just play the music. So I unlocked, I think it was a Commander King intro, and now I just play it in the Fortress of Doom while I'm walking around.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a very well done game.
Another one, David, that I have to mention is I beat this game, and I've beat it several times. But Fallout New Vegas is one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Do you think it holds up really well? Like if I were to jump in?
Probably
No?
not. I mean, no.
So it would need to have just like a slight upgrade in order for someone like me to enjoy it, probably.
Not necessarily. I mean, those games are not very good control-wise anyways.
That's true. That's really janky controls.
Even Fallout
regardless.
now, the new
Fallout
Fallouts
4,
are just like odd to control. So it's kind of like, the quirks that you fall in love with the game kind of a thing. And I really like New Vegas. I think I mean, we've talked about it before, but you gotta respect a guy or a game developer. You gotta respect a game developer that they just want to save money. They just don't want to make new character, assets.
Skids.
You know what? Let's just take these Roman soldiers from Oblivion. It's like the outfit of the armor, and let's throw them into a post-apocalyptic Vegas.
That's
like
hilarious.
Nevada.
We'll come up with the story afterwards.
Yeah, brainstorming. They just went crazy.
They worked at Little Caesars at Caesar's Palace. I mean,
they went crazy and found this armor, and now they're a clan out in the wilderness. So now and then they totally save so much money by just using those character models.
that's funny. That is too
It's
funny.
a really good game though.
Great question, Marshall Reyes. Thank you very much for writing in. Black Knight writes in and says, "Hey bros, Destiny 2 had an amazing exploit where 12 players can go into a 3-player or 6-player events." He says, "I've posted some pictures in the Discord for you all to enjoy. It has been the most fun I've had in a long time. It's a shame they're going to fix this." What has to be the most fun exploit you've found in a game? I'll go first with this one. I don't know about fun, but just from a utility standpoint, again, it's Destiny, but the loot cave
That
was
funny,
a blast.
That was pretty
Because
funny.
you
Because everybody would just
sit there.
strap rubber bands to
groups of
their
people.
controller and,
Well,
and
then-
just
and then you-
leave for a couple hours. And
Then you had the righteous honor guards that ran up there and stood there. It's like, you shouldn't do this.
And so everyone would leave and
Stop
jump back in.
doing this. I'm not going to make the bad guy spawn anymore. And then everybody just leaves, and then they go into a new
instance.
A new instance. Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, that was a good one, though. The
Yeah,
loot cave was one of the
is
greatest
so
things.
memorable.
The loot cave is the equivalent to Napster. When Napster was in 2001 and it was going to the Supreme Court, whether it's
equivalent to
illegal or
Napster,
not.
But everybody rushed.
And the last 2 weeks of Napster being alive, everybody pirated as many songs as they possibly could. They left their computers on overnight. Come on, no one call me. I still got dial-up. Yeah, that was the loot cave until the Supreme Court shut it down.
Dude, and Black Knight, I'm just browsing all your pictures Black Knight that you posted. Hilarious, dude. Hilarious. That's an awesome exploit. Exploits like that are tons of fun. Jordan.
Yeah,
Exploit in a
I
game
think the
that you
loot
think
cave
of-
is pretty good.
Yeah, the
The loot cave is pretty good.
Spicy, how about yourself? There's got to be one.
Actually, there was one in Skyrim that was pretty funny. I used it to level up my dark. What is it? Your Daedric stuff. Basically, you found a dead body and you were able to reuse a spell on it over and over again. And it was something to do with Daedric, but it was basically it was basically a really fast and easy way to level up your what was the ability? The reason I'm saying Daedric is because if you were able to get the Daedric armor set because you required whatever that ability was, whatever that tree was, you had to have a certain level in it to wear the Daedric armor, and the Daedric armor was pretty strong and cool looking. So I remember, I think it was outside Whiterun. I just killed someone, and you kept using, I think it was like life. I forget what it was, but you just kept using it over and over again for like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
and then
you were maxed out.
And then there was the whole sneaking and killing
that was my favorite one.
The talking to shouting people.
Every single playthrough I've had of Skyrim,
the monks.
The first thing you do, you go right up the mountain. And then you wait for that guy to go like pray, and you just sit behind him and you go stab him. Because he'll stand up and he'll be like, huh?
Because they can't die, right?
Oh, guess no one's there, and you're staring. You're making eye contact. He sits back down. Stab, and he won't die. And then it's just like sneak attack, increase, sneak attack, increase, sneak attack, increase. Get it to level 100, and then you can start playing the game.
Yeah, so Skyrim had some pretty good ones.
Yeah, Spicy. Outside of those, any others that you think of that you really enjoyed?
Well, I don't personally enjoy these.
Okay.
But I love watching speedrunners just destroy games with every exploit that you can possibly think of.
Just a memorization of exploits.
One of my favorites that I've ever seen is the exploit, and I don't know how they figure these out. They have to have I know that speedrunners they have techs that figure the exploits out. And then they actually have the speedrunners, and they work together to figure things out.
It's like the pit crew and the driver.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like. But the best one I've ever seen it was the Ocarina of Time on Zelda, and they can beat the game in 18 seconds.
Wow.
And how they do it, they enter a door, and then within one frame, they move left from right at the beginning when you wake up at that whatever, Acorn Camp. I can't remember and then they go through a door and then they go somewhere. And how the game is developed is the game sequence is rooms or something.
Sure.
And they can go right to where the fight with Ganon is at the very end. And you need the Master Sword to fight Ganon. But the exploit is you go there, and then you're able to do another glitch, and then you're able to get a cutscene with the Master Sword, and then you automatically have it, and you can kill him. It's like a under 20-second.
Well, have you ever seen when they have a whole YouTube? I think it might be IGN that does it. There's a few people that do it, but they have a YouTube series where the developers react to the speed runs.
Oh, those are
those are really cool because the developers, for the most part, are actually where they're oh, that's how create. They're really because to think about it, to do those speed runs, you have to play that game for hundreds of hours.
Sure.
They're still playing the game. But I can't remember if it was Tomb Raider or something. But someone got in trouble because they did something, and the developer I don't know who I was Tomb Raider or one of the other games, but they were I thought we put something in to prevent that. His tone changed.
There's 5 of them sitting there, and you know which one didn't do his job, and he's like,
and then they all go like this. Jerry.
Yeah. It was it was so funny because they were all
we did. He broke it.
They were all oh wow, he's doing this, he's doing that, and then he did something. It did break the game, and you could tell the head executive guy was I thought we put something in to prevent that.
Yeah,
and it was oh, someone got in trouble. It was pretty funny.
But I really enjoy seeing those. One of my favorites is the original NES Mario World 4-2, I believe that is. There's a great mini documentary on that 20-second level or 40. No, I think it's a 20-second level on how every frame is important and how the evolution of these exploits that come along to progress and decrease the time in speedrunning that. It's an excellent thing to watch if you want to enjoy exploits on how games are made, developed, and then they just destroy it. Yeah.
Great question, Black Knight. Defenestrator in chat says OG exploit the extra lives from turtles in Super Mario Brothers 1. Actually, I don't know that one. I was just a
Oh
child.
no,
So.
no, yeah. So that one, I did that one. I could do that one. Yeah, that's when you hit the turtle guy. Mm-hmm. Is it a Koopa Troopa, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You hit him, and then you go to like a step. It's like the third step, and you jump and you let go of it, and then it bounces back, and then you just go dunk, 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 and you have it perfectly framed.
Yeah, so you're.
And then you just keep getting extra lives. You have to do that. I had to do that every time in order to actually beat the game.
That's
because
funny.
I could do that, but I couldn't survive the levels from like 8 on.
That is really funny. Great question. Z Capitan writes in and says, I'm starting to see a trend, even with the Xbox Gold snafu, or just constant positive news and upward trend in performance and value if you invested in the Series X early. Stuff like FPS boost, Bethesda Game Pass, systems and controller errors are at a minimum. He says, are you guys feeling that you got your money's worth even with your new PC build in hand, or even more so because you have that comparison? So, question, early investment in the Series X, do we think we're getting our money's worth? Spicy.
Yeah. Maybe, I mean, because one of the first games I played was Cyberpunk, and you didn't see it in the actual game necessarily. Although, no, actually you did, because you couldn't play it on the other console.
Yeah, so you saw it in performance.
Where it changed my life is the loading times. Mm-hmm. That one alone sells those new consoles.
Yeah, that's really good.
I feel like when I have a loading screen, I feel like, what are we, cavemen? I mean, why am I sitting here? I'm wasting my time.
What is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that, regardless of all the fidelity and all the resolution and all that stuff, the fact that I don't have like no loading times at all is a game changer.
Yeah.
It's worth
Agreed.
every penny.
Agreed. Jordan.
No, it's loading times. Even when playing Doom Eternal, which is a relatively new game, when you die, you just basically count 2 Mississippis, probably 1 Mississippi and a half, and you hit A and you're back in the game.
Yeah.
And then I actually did download Oblivion and start a new game. And let me tell you, when you have that kind of power on that old of a game, I'm excited to see what Morrowind does.
Yeah.
But
I like the graphics. So right now, Dirt 5 is in Game Pass, and so we're playing
Fun
it
game.
as it's our Game Club Game of the Month. And there's this difference in our Discord chat of people on the Scorpio or the Project Scorpio, the X1X or the Xbox One versus the Series S and the Series X. And I feel like in a game like that, like it's a beautiful game on the Series X, and it's showing this next level graphics that you're just not getting on the Series or on the Xbox One right now. And you put on top of that lots of games on Game Pass are going that, you're getting that Series X enhanced. I absolutely think the value is there. And I think it's becoming more and more apparent. It's going to become more apparent this summer with stuff like Flight Simulator. When that drops on there.
Given time, I mean, look at the Super Nintendo when Super Mario World came out. It was like, oh my gosh. And compare that to the NES.
Yeah.
But then when give it a couple years, then you have Donkey Kong Country
yeah.
come out, and you're like, holy cow. And then you're hearing the soundtracks.
Yeah.
Given time, the developers actually have time to work with the hardware, and you'll see some really, really great stuff.
You're going to do some crazy things.
That doesn't mean that I would ever miss the chance to play Super Mario World when it first came out, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a great game too. It's just fidelity is just going to get better and better, and that's really exciting.
Well, you mentioned Flight Simulator. I'm actually really excited to see how well that game does on the Xbox, because that game takes a lot.
That game, your fan goes
Like,
it sounds like a plane. It
yeah,
sounds like you're starting the engines to your jet.
That's how they get away with it. It's
Yeah.
immersion.
It's immersion.
Well, because how much video RAM is in the Xbox Series X, and it takes more than that on the PC, because I think like day 1 or 2, I was like, hey, this game's pretty optimized. And then you pull up your stats and you're like, holy, no, it's not.
Oh.
Whoa. I mean, maybe it's optimized, but I mean, I guess I don't know how much it takes to load the entire world. But
Well, we have a friend of the show, Loyal Doyle, that fried his computer. That game fried
Blew
his
up.
computer.
yeah, I think he was flying over Salt Lake City at the time, and is just
He's
boom.
like, guys, there's smoke coming from my computer. Like, oh, that's part of the immersion.
That's part of the immersion.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's a great time to be a gamer. It's a great time to be an Xbox gamer. It's a great time for all of us. So that actually does us for today, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in, and
Yeah, go play some Bethesda.
go
games.
play some Bethesda games.
There's 20 of them now on Xbox.
Remember,
Game Pass.
if you haven't yet, do not forget to come over to YouTube, subscribe to us there, check out the streams, check out we're dropping videos. We dropped a video last week, Spicy's review basically of Rogue Company.
Yeah.
So come check it out. We're bringing more of that stuff. Come support us. It's a good time. Other than that, have a great week, everybody. You know what I'm really excited to jump into as we count it out here?
Yeah,
Morrowind.
Outriders.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
loving that
April
game.
1st, I
Spicy
think?
was right. The story grabs you.
It's good.
And I love...
Just grabs you by.
grabs me the same way Back to the Future grabs you. It's good stuff. I'm really excited. Leroy Jenkins that, which Rescue Rooks said in chat. Thank you very much, Rescue Rook, for that super chat. Guys, have a great week. We'll see you next time.
I'm looking